Let me guess, you signed up for every free lead magnet and binged on every marketing YouTube video and thought, what am I missing? Why isn't my business exploding like that? Well, I can tell you, you're not alone. Whether you're just getting started or have an established business, entrepreneurship can be really lonely. But it doesn't have to be. Overcoming your fear of launching or building your personal brand or figuring out how to scale, it shouldn't be holding you back. It should be empowering you. On this podcast, we're going to deep dive into the mechanics of what it takes to build your brand, make your mark, and stake your claim in the digital marketing space. I'll be chatting with people from all walks of life and stages in their careers. I will be getting inspiration from real experts who will share their actual strategies and techniques to grow loyal and raving followings and sell more stuff. This is entrepreneurship from people who are already there making it happen. My name is Jeff Mendelson. Join me and welcome to the One Big Tip podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Jeff Mendelson, and this is the One Big Tip podcast. And today, I'm really pleased to have Ben Sampson on the line with me. Ben is the co-founder of WeHero. WeHero gives companies the solutions to accomplish their social mission through powerful giving and volunteer programs to create a better culture, better brand, and a greater social impact. Ben, welcome to the show.
Great to be here. Thanks, Jeff.
So Ben, you and I were talking about what the foundation of this, what the mission is for WeHero. So I gave a very brief description. Can you please take a few minutes to introduce yourself and why WeHero is so important for you?
Yeah. So thanks, Jeff, and awesome to be on the show. And yeah, so my name's Ben Sampson, like you said. I have a background in building a lot of products and just entrepreneurship and just kind of the world I eat, sleep, and breathe in. To your question about WeHero, our job's to make giving and volunteering really easy and accessible for all. And we have a mission of empowering 10 million people with the tools to give and volunteer easily and effortlessly. And so, long story short, giving and volunteering the right way and make sure you're making an impact can be really challenging, can be really daunting. And there's a lot of lack of trust right now when you donate to a nonprofit or if you volunteer for actually making an impact. And we jump in and solve that. And today we help a number of companies in the Fortune 500 and small businesses accomplish their social missions. And we do that through high impact volunteer and giving programs. So we do that through a combination of executing high impact volunteer experiences, then also using technology that we build. For example, we have a browser extension that allows you to browse the web and make an impact just through your web surfing. So every time you open a new tab, it's raising money for nonprofits that you choose, and you can see the actual impact that your web browsing makes. So today I actually got my impact email from the extension. It showed me that I fed 4 families through Feeding America. I planted 2 trees. And I also donated $20 of aid with AmeriCares. And so it shows all that. And I didn't open my wallet. So stuff like that and the stuff that gets us out of bed every day and keeps us really excited.
So is this sort of like a pay-per-click scheme where the company is actually paying, is making a donation, not to you, but to a nonprofit for every time someone visits their webpage or visits a page that's important for them? Is that basically how it works?
No, actually a little different. So when you open a new tab, you have a background image. And then at the very bottom, there's just a small banner ad. We just partner with Google AdSense to run that banner ad. And so every time you open new tabs, it's taking that ad revenue from that very small banner ad at the bottom and donating it to the nonprofits that you've selected.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah. So it's actually very simple. It's incredibly transparent, and so you don't have to open your wallet and you can just make an impact. So everybody can make an impact.
Wow. That's amazing. So this actually segues into your one big tip, which is about making a product, that fits very quickly into the mission of what it is that you're trying to, achieve. Can you please talk about that? Like, what would be the steps towards making a product like that you can bring to the market faster and have much more of an impact, rather than just coming up with divining something in your head and putting it out there and seeing what sticks?
Yeah, absolutely. So like we were talking about earlier, Jeff, there's a lot of folks that want to start a side business at this time. They want to launch a new product, and people get really excited and they take the wrong steps to do that. And what happens is you waste a lot of time and you waste a lot of money often. I run into folks that have wasted tens of thousands of dollars only to find that they launched a product that nobody wants to use. And so I have 6 tips for making sure you find product market fit and stop wasting time and start making money faster with your new product or your new side business. Um,
Amazing.
The first tip out of these 6 tips, one is making sure you ask yourself the right questions. It's hard to be your own devil's advocate, and it's hard to challenge your own idea over and over again, especially when you're so excited and you so strongly believe that everybody wants to use this. A couple of those questions, and I won't bore everybody. You need to ask yourself, what problem am I really trying to solve? Is this product a must-have? Is this an Advil? In other words, is this a painkiller? Painkillers are much easier to sell than enhancements. Where would a user or a client truly find value in my product? And once I find value, what is the absolute minimal viable product that I have to build to gain traction? Another key question, is my timing right for this? Is it going to fit into my life if I invest the next 6 to 12 months into this? And do I have the right skill set and team to accomplish this? These are hard questions that you have to ask yourself and really challenge your idea. And what happens is people don't ask themselves these questions until they're like a couple months down the road, only to find that, crap, I'm not ready to do this, or this isn't actually going to fit with the market at all. So just that's step one, asking yourself the right questions. And we did that with this browser extension. We actually had to ask ourselves over and over again those questions. And our answers actually were a little bit discouraging at first, and it actually forced us to pivot the product. And the We Hero extension is actually becoming more successful today because we asked ourselves those tough challenges up in advance.
Okay. All right. Very good.
The second thing you can do in that process, point number 2 out of the 6 tips, is survey, survey, survey. After you ask yourself like the really challenging questions, it's important to ask your audience the right questions to gauge interest, real interest. A lot of people tell you, yes, I love this, Jeff. This is going to be amazing. But people, if they won't get their wallet out and give you $5, it doesn't mean that they're actually bought into the actual product idea.
So it's the money talks. It's the money talk scenario.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I encourage people, like, get 50 to 100 people to take a survey. Really identify an audience that you think might be interested in the product and give them 10 questions max, something really short and sweet to actually figure out if people are truly going to be interested in this. There's a lot of technology platforms and social platforms today that make this really easy. There's Slack communities, there's Facebook groups. You can just do a simple Google Forms link or SurveyMonkey and get answers to the questions that you asked yourself to see if people really want to use this product. We did this actually with, again, using the extension as just a case study. And we found that, 50% of the people really would be interested in giving it a try. And there was a number of people that responded differently, that they weren't really sure how it would work or didn't really like the idea, weren't comfortable with ads. And again, it forced us, because we talked to 100 people up in advance, it forced us to pivot and adjust the model slightly before even spending money to build it. So again, just saved us a ton of time and energy. And the second part of this, Jeff, we talked about the money talks. One is having folks take the survey, but 2, now that we know that people might actually want to use the product because of our survey, step 3 is building a landing page and using AdWords to actually gauge, again, real interest in the product. Are people actually going to want to use it? So
now this is you putting your money to talking and making it happen. Okay.
Yep, exactly. So building, and Jeff, this is the world you come from, your marketing world. So this probably is very familiar to you. But before even building the product, like, again, gauging interest by building a landing page, putting some ads behind it, getting unique users to come and unique visitors to come to the landing page, and then seeing if 1, they'll click that buy button after reading the pitch on your product, or 2, if they'll fill out that lead form. And if they click the buy button, it doesn't actually have to mean you're selling the product already. You can just go like, thanks for your interest in the product. It's not ready right now. Leave your email and we'll get back to you when the product is ready. But we're seeing if people will actually click the buy button, if people will actually fill out the form. And then we can really gauge, okay, people will actually click that buy button. They'll actually do this. Maybe we should consider moving forward. And if nobody does, you've saved yourself a lot of time and money and have to go back to the drawing board to figure out, okay, it doesn't have a strong enough draw for our market. We need to make some adjustments and see if we can find something that people will click that buy button for.
So in the sales funnel world, what you're talking about is your offer strong enough to get someone to take an action?
Yep, exactly.
Very
Before
cool.
spending any money or time building whatever it is, whether it's a new shoe brand, whether it's a new, like marketing service or whatever, save yourself that time and energy up front and figure out if people actually want it.
All right, cool stuff.
Yep.
What's next?
The next step, step four, is doing a prototype. And prototyping is really easy for digital products. It's a lot more challenging for physical products. So we'll talk about this a lot for folks that are doing digital products. A lot of people have the new app idea. Everybody has an app. Everybody has an app idea. Everybody has a website idea. Everybody wants to do a new social network or game. And oftentimes people think that the first thing they need to do is find developers and start building immediately. Let's do this thing. Pump the brakes a little bit first. What we want to do is, okay, we understand now that your survey has said people are interested in this. You did your landing page and your ads. People will click that buy button or that download button. But now let's actually show them something tangible to make sure and confirm that they actually want to use it. The prototype's a really easy way to design something like an app, for example, or a website, and get it in front of those people that respond to the survey, the people that filled out your form on your website, and confirm again that they actually want to use that interface, that application, that website. There's some really easy tools for doing this. Envision's a great tool for doing this. And what's the benefit of doing this? One, it saves you so much time and money on your development side. So let's say you went straight to developing out your application. You launch it into market. You're going to have to pivot and adjust and redo so many things because it's so challenging to predict what the market really wants, even just from a user interface standpoint. So it saves you from that. And two, that prototype gives you something tangible to take to market to confirm that there's actual interest. Working with a physical product, same thing. Designs and samples before any production orders is really key. Get those samples out, get the physical designs out, and make sure people actually have interest in the product. So prototyping is huge, saves people a massive amount of money.
All right, cool. Very good advice.
Yeah.
What's next?
5 and 6, two really key points. One, I'm going to say it again, survey, survey, survey. So step 5 is the same as step 2. With the prototype in hand, survey the existing audience. Again, really key thing to do, and make sure again that people will actually pay real money. Ask people. We actually ask folks sometimes, like, would you pay money to use this product, or would you download it? And we ask people for honesty in the survey. So, and then we also expanded our survey response. So instead of surveying 100 people, we could take it to 100 to 500 people using something called like user testing, which is a great resource that we can link to after this podcast. Really helpful to confirm again that people will use it. Okay. The final tip, Jeff, last but not least, the real MVP. I say the real MVP, or the real minimal viable product, because a lot of folks overbuild. They have an app idea and they want it to have 20 features, and they want it to be able to eye scan you, fingerprint scan you, track your location, send you $10 in coupons every week. So like they overbuild because they're so excited about the product. Figure out what the real MVP is based on all this data that you've now collected, what the prototype has shown you, what parts of the prototype were people really interested in, what are your survey data that show you, and build just the core application. So the browser extension that you and I just talked about, it was actually supposed to be a full-blown mobile consumer-facing application with tons of features. What we did was, with all our data and our surveying, we were able to strip all of that down and figure out that people just want to make an impact really simply. And a lot of people don't want to, get out their wallet. So we flipped the model and actually figured out a free way for people to make an impact just by browsing the web. And that was our minimal viable product. It was just a really simple browser extension rather than a full-blown mobile application. So figure out what your real MVP is. Again, you're saving yourself a lot of time building that MVP, and you're also saving yourself a massive amount of money just focusing on something small that's going to provide value to your core audience.
What's interesting is that something as small and as lightweight as a browser extension that you can install into Chrome or Firefox would be able to provide actual money to these organizations in a way that requires almost no effort besides the normal habits that you're already doing. Not many products can say that. So that's a really cool development.
Hey, cool. Thank you very much for that. Ben, why don't you tell people where they can find out more about you and connect with you if they want to learn more?
Yeah, definitely. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Ben Sampson. I'll come right up. Also, if you go to wehero.co/one big tip, you'll be able to find all the details just from this show and the podcast and more about We Hero and what we do, and also have some information about myself there. And you'll also be able to get in touch with me directly there as well. So that's probably the best way to reach me, Jeff.
Awesome. Ben, thank you very much for taking the time to be here. I really appreciate you dropping those great tips, and I'm sure it's going to help out our listeners to build better products. Thank you very much for your time.
Perfect. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.